We go now to Steve Christakos for today's World of Sports. Now, Steve, with football season, it's just starting up again. What's the latest on the anthem protests in the NFL?
Well, Ashley, so last night the preseason began with 12 games on the schedule. And, the NFL earlier this year, as we all know, announced that new policy trying to curtail the protests during the anthem. And, they were trying to require players to, if they're going to be on the field, they had to stand, according to the NFL, or they can remain in the locker room. Now, last night, there was a lot of backlash from the NFLPA, the Players Association, filing a grievance against the NFL, and they put a freeze on the new policy. So it was like all eyes were on the players to see how they were going to respond. And last night, some notable players who were protesting last season continued their protests. Malcolm Jenkins of the Eagles raised his fist in the air. Kenny Stills of the Dolphins kneeled. And Colin Kaepernick, who's the pioneer of this movement, started 2 years ago. And since then, he's been ostracized and blackballed by the league. He hasn't been able to find a job. He tweeted out actually supporting Kenny Stills, saying, "My brother, Kenny Stills, continued his protests of systematic oppression tonight by taking a knee. Albert Wilson joined him in protest. Stay strong, brothers." So while they might not be able to give him a job in the NFL or try to keep him out, even though he should probably be in the NFL, he won't be silenced by this. So.
And he's still using his platform to get the message across. President Trump, he's been vocal about a lot of issues. I'm interested to know, what has he said in opposition to these protests?
So, of course, after last night, today we were all waiting for it. We figured, he'd have something to say. And this morning, he tweeted out very early in the morning, he said, "The NFL players are at it again, taking a knee when they should be standing proudly for the national anthem. Numerous players from different teams wanted to show their outrage at something that most of them are unable to define. They make a fortune doing what they love. Be happy, be cool. A football game that fans are paying so much money to watch and enjoy is no place to protest. Most of the money goes to the players anyway. Find another way to protest, stand proudly for your national anthem, or be suspended without pay." Now, that's a typical Trump tweet that we've seen. However, it's wrong on so many levels. It's incorrect because the fact that he even says the players get most of the money from the fans spending to go to the game, that's just untrue, because fans actually, the money they spend on going to the game, the players receive less than 50% of that revenue, that defined revenue, and that number won't be able to be renegotiated until 2020. Also, they're saying the players are unable to define the message or the issue, and that's just untrue as well, because on many occasions, they all clearly state that it's about police brutality, systematic oppression, racial inequality. And also Colin Kaepernick, another thing it's about him is when he started this protest, he started by sitting on the bench to protest it. And then he spoke with a former U.S. Army veteran who used to be a Green Beret and a former NFL player, Nate Boyer. And he told him after a long discussion that kneeling would be more respectful to the anthem. So that's when he started kneeling. And so Colin Kaepernick, he wanted to just find middle ground to get his message across.
But when it comes to that Trump tweet, it's just sad to see once again that our president is misinformed. It's not about the money. They're protesting for a very important message. Thank you so much, Steve.